All right, if you guys were asking for some more on this jewelry stuff, today's a day I go through my scrap drawer and remelt all of my scraps. I'm pulling out just some things that I think I can still use, but the rest of this is going right into the crucible. So today I'm going to show you guys what I do to pour bars so that I can later transform those bars into the jewelry you guys have been seeing. So first things first, I need to get the kiln plugged in and fired up to the appropriate temperature. So we're gonna see here, is it set? Yep, 1150, we're good. We're gonna let that thing heat up. And while that starts heating up, I'm gonna set up my area. Luckily, I have this sort of granite top table, but I also like to put down, as you can see, some stainless steel baking pans. I have this very special silicone type loader thing that can withstand tons of heat. I don't use it when it's red hot. I like to load my pieces into this little vessel because it's a straight shot when I go to pour the scraps into the crucible. I don't have to worry about anything flying off the edge like it did. So now it's time to just hang out with Mouse. How you doing, baby?
Well, actually, I'm tired. I was up all night with the neighborhood dog course. We were howling at the moon until about 4, so I hope you don't mind if I sit this one out.
Of course not, dollface. I'll get to work, you hang out on the couch. But, yeah, that might be a problem. Let me fix that. Yep. Probably best to not have open toes when dealing with molten metal. So what I like to do while I'm waiting for my kiln to heat up is I like to just work on things. So I have this little strip of metal that was left over from one of the pieces I did. You can see it wasn't quite square, so I'm taking my file and I'm squaring it off. I often do things like this where I have no idea what it is I'm making. I'm just sort of going through the process. So now I've decided to stamp it out. And I think I'm just gonna use one stamp and see what I can do with just one stamp. So it took me a little bit. I think my kiln is heated up, but here's what I've got so far. Let's check out the kiln. So remember what I was saying before? Watch this. Oh, easy. That was an easy load. It's better than shooting it all over the place. So I'm getting close. It's time for me to set things up. What I'm doing now is I'm setting up my torch so that I can put my stones down and then set my little graphite mold on top of that. That way I can get the graphite heated up to temperature. Look at that, you can see smoke coming out. That is probably just leftover dust and stuff that was at the bottom of my bin. We're getting closer now. I've got everything I need. Let's take a look and see. We got little flames and oh yeah, the metal is molten, but I like to wait a little bit longer. I like to get it hotter. That way the metal flows a little easier. So while I do that, I'm gonna polish this ring up, give it a little more time, and then I'm gonna get back to it. I think I'm gonna check on it right about now. But before I go, now that's the ring, yeah. Okay, so we're real close. Time to fire up the gas. Here I just sort of turn the torch on and let it heat that graphite. And this will, it only takes a couple of minutes, not even a couple of minutes, less than a minute, but I like to just heat the whole thing up. I like to get everything super duper hot before I do anything. It tends to make everything flow a little easier. I find that if everything's hot, the metal will flow very easily and you get some nice, beautiful pours. So one last thing, I got this pot of water here for my quenching. I do believe we are up to temperature, so that's good. That means that I'm going to shut this gas off, make sure that my mold is in the proper spot that I want it to be in. Grab my special tools here to open the lid. You can see now just how hot that crucible is. It's glowing red all the way through, which means that there's not going to be any solidification of the metal before it gets into my mold. So I'm adjusting it right now for the pour, and you'll see just how easily this silver flows out. What I did here on the second part is just to make sure there wasn't any extra silver in there. I like to pour it out into the graphite mold just in case, but I think I planned it just right. So now I get my bent nose pliers, because you do not want to grab that hot graphite. I dump out my bar, and that bar goes straight into the water for quenching. So here's my bar. You can see some beautiful pore lines there. That black stuff is just graphite that has come off of the kiln itself. I'm not worried about that. That a wire brush can take care of. Let's see what I got back from my scrap. 91.6, almost 3 ounces of pure silver back from just little scraps and stuff. I'm pretty stoked about that. So, well guys, now you can see what I have to do to get back to a bar. And if you guys are really interested, I'll show you what I do next with this. Because this little bar is going to end up getting cut up and rolled out on my mill into some wire and sheets. That way I can continue making things like this ring, which I'm actually kind of proud of. It took me all of about 2 hours to do. Yeah, so cool. If you guys are interested and you want to see what I do next with this, it's going to be interesting. There's a lot of hammering involved in an anvil mill. So keep coming back.